And the last Group 1 day of the season comes up at Sha Tin on Sunday. Welcome to the race by race preview. Tom Wood's here with all of the selections. And we go with the Griffins, an earlier start time with the extra race. 12:30 is the first. Quick Money last start winner, extra £7. Number 2's out, that was Kiama. King Dance and Light Years Glory making their debuts. Sparkle Gold has the tongue tie going on. Babieka, 2 starts for 2 placings, and Hyena Star wears a tongue tie for the first time as they also go around the bend at the 1200, Tom.
Yeah, so there's a few variables here. Obviously, some wide draws for a few first starters as well. Hyena Star is showing a bit of pace. Babieka's got pace. Field Marshal's a newcomer. He will come across from barrier number 11. Win Method, Light Years Glory, another newcomer with Young Fighter, King Dance and Winning Champion, all making their debuts.
We start with the second Griffin race, and this was Quick Money, who went so close to winning on debut. Motor improved, but still has a few lengths to find, and Babieka, very green, Tom, wants to run around a bit for a good part of the straight.
He certainly does. At about sort of the 300 metres, his rider, Karis Tietjens, had to stop riding briefly to straighten him up and to get him balanced. You can see on the outside rail there, Win Method coming under pressure. It was a better run this day from Motor as well, even though he was still beaten 5 1/4. He certainly improved from his first up run where he didn't beat a rival home. But I think Quick Money can certainly win again. He has to carry that extra £7. Jerry Chow from barrier number 8, but really like the way he knuckled down late here to knock off Babieka. So I thought they looked to be the 2 again.
1.3 favourite winning that race, Quick Money. Now, the first starters include King Dance, who comes from last to win this trial. He's had 4 of them, so been quite well educated by Francis Loy, and he beats a horse called Winning Cigar narrowly in this trial.
US bred is King Dance. We see these connections by a few US bred horses. He was 200,000 out of the Keeneland September yearling sale. He's been slow away. He's been slow away in all of his trials. You can see he was pushed out a little bit there, but he was still good enough to win this trial. So we're interested to see what he can do here. Barrier 4, crossover noseband on. Probably looks like he wants a little bit further in time. And first for the sire as well, Nyquist here in Hong Kong.
Winning champion, Tom. Just the 2 trials for him. He ran last in the first one behind Riding High, fairly poor, but then certainly improved between them. Ends up running second here, and he was beaten 2 lengths, but went the right way between those 2 trials.
Certainly did. He was slow away in that first trial by a bit of a margin, and in this trial he began a lot better. You can see him sitting here second, and now starting to extend and close the margin on the horse that's leading and is going to win, but didn't mind the way he trialled here. Barrier 11, a little bit tricky first up, but I think he's not the worst in this race. Be interested to see what sort of price he comes up at.
Oh, did he make your top 4?
Not quite. I went with 1 at the top, though, of course, that is Quick Money here for Jerry Chow and Dennis Ship. I think can win again. 8 goes in, Babieka. I thought they were the 2. Throw the first starter here, Field Marshal, who I think has been trialling up okay for David Hayes, Keith Young, barrier 12, and Hyena Star, the best of the rest here for Luke Ferraris and David Eustace. They've added the tongue tie to him. 1, 8, 9, 10.
First at Sha Tin, Tom, with race 1, number 1, Quick Money, to make you some quick money to start the day. Viva Pataka Handicap is race number 2, and this race is over the 1200 metres for the Class 4s. Both Hong Kong Hall and Awesome Treasure are on the class drop. Call Me Gorgeous has the blinkers going on. First starters the 6, the 7 and the 8. We've got Golden Tronic Mighty, last winner, carries an extra £8 for it. Divine Moonlight has a hood and pacifier going on. And Shine Bright wears a tongue tie for the first time. The leader is one of the downgraders, Tom, Hong Kong Hall.
You've got 2. The other one is Awesome Treasure, ridden by Alice Wong. But Hong Kong Hall, Invincible Ibis, has shown pace at the trials. Divine Moonlight has been able to lead and win a trial. You've got Shine Bright, who's drawn a little wide, with the Call Me Gorgeous drawing wide again. And the long-standing Maiden Beauty Missile to settle back with Tai Hang Scenery.
Straight to Nick with the trainer of one of the first starters. It's Mark Newnham talking Invincible Ibis.
Mark Newnham, now you've got a fascinating newcomer lining up early on the card Sunday in race 2 in the shape of Invincible Ibis. He's a horse who's trialled quite nicely.
Yeah, nice horse. Bought him at the Ready to Run in New Zealand 18 months ago. So he's had plenty of time. to acclimatise. He's had a few trials now, I think about 5. His last trial, I asked Luke just to do a little bit more on him the last 200, and he responded well. He's drawn a nice gate on Sunday, so he should run well.
Interesting, obviously I look back through the sales record, you did indeed buy him. His price rose quite comfortably from his yearling stage. I know you had little to do with him as a yearling, but you did as far as his purchase price as a 2-year-old. What was it that you saw in this horse early on, Mark, that suggested he was worth going to that sort of money for?
Oh, I saw enough improvement. He was just a big horse, a bit raw. You know, sometimes at those breeze-ups, the best day of their life is the day they breeze up, but you know, you want a horse in 2 to 3 years' time performing for you. So I saw a horse with good scope for improvement, and so far that looks to be the case.
And from a Page perspective as well, he's down won 11 races. Am I correct in thinking she won 11?
Yeah, look, a good strong family, good winning family. Hellbent's he's a good stallion. Horses continue to improve as they age. So, you know, that's the type of horse that suits Hong Kong. You know, a good tough family. With speed.
They've been kind as far as the barrier is concerned as well for a debut, gate number 2. So that must have been a bit pleasing when you saw that.
Yeah, certainly a help for an experienced horse. So, Luke will have some options there on how he jumps. But, nice to be able to have those options than if you're drawn out.
That is Mark Newnham. Tom will go on to some race day form and a win by Golden Tronic Mighty last time. Big Animal got a perfect trip from Keith Young. Bullish Pride ran 13th and Beauty Missile 7th. But what are your thoughts on the chances of Golden Tronic Mighty making it 2 in a row?
Well, he's clearly one of the biggest horses we've got here at the moment, and he had a lovely run through on the inside. He's drawn to get a similar sort of run this time round from barrier number 4. Recent trial up at Chung Fa, he did appear to be under a good hold in that as well, so I think he's certainly a must. He's been racing himself into some form, and Jamie Richards has got him going well, and he cleared out here for a pretty tidy win in the end by 2 lengths. Maybe you have to sort of question the opposition a little bit there, but just the manner that he did it, way he's trialled, has to be respected.
It's a good report for him. And Awesome Treasure's been to the trials at Chung Fa. Now, his recent race day form at first glance is awful, but he just can't do it in Class 3. However, loves racing in this grade.
3-time winner in this grade from his 27 starts, 2 of them course and distance. Apprentice ridden with Alice Wong taking 7 off for his back, and didn't appreciate the good to yielding track last time out, but of course that was in Class 3. Up at the trials here, he was up near the pace. He can race fairly handy, this horse, but there's a little bit of alternate speed in this race, so from barrier number 6 he might just be able to sit off them there, but it needs to be taken seriously here back in this grade.
Do you like Invincible Ibis to make it 1 for 1?
Yeah, made him the best as well, Invincible Ibis, for Mark Newnham, and Luke Ferraris have liked the way he's trialled. So he clearly goes on top, Invincible Ibis, to beat Golden Tronic Mighty, horse number 10. Call Me Gorgeous just got that awkward draw again. Ran well last start, but that was from gate 4, and Awesome Treasure in on a minor line. 7, 10, 3 and 2.
Tom with the best bet and a perfect start to the racing career for Invincible Ibis to make it 1 start for 1 win and take the second. Race number 3 now, another race with plenty of first starters in it, so it's a Class 4 over the 1200. Giddy Up has no cheek pieces this week. Northern Beaches has placed 5 from 8 course and distance. Audacious Pursuit, Co-Partner Fleet, Inno Super and Voyage Boss all make their race debuts. Love Is in the Air has the hood coming off, looks outstanding, first time on turf minus the blinkers. And Blue Baron wears cheek pieces for the first time. Circuit Victory, a leader and winner last time. Tom's going to the front again.
Yeah, they changed the tactics in that last start, so I think they'll be trying to repeat the dose here. Co-Partner Fleet has shown he's got some pace, but he is drawn wide to Co-Partner Fleet in barrier 12 with Purton on board. Billion 2, Voyage Boss is on debut. He looks like he should get a nice enough run. Be interested to see where they position Lovers in the Air from a better draw this time round. He's in barrier number 5. Other first starters, Audacious Pursuit and Inno Super, likely to go back.
We'll check out a few of the first starters shortly, but we're going to Honest Witness, who's had those 2 starts, hasn't been too far away in either of them. Good trial from him between runs too. Hugh Bowman on board for David Hayes.
And the horse in front, of course, was a winner at Happy Valley during the week, Lean Master, and he set up some fairly quick sectionals in front here. Did Lean Master, of course, the race ultimately won by Aaron, and Honest Witness, I thought, began fairly just okay, I guess, and from that draw of gate number 6, hopefully he can jump away better than he did last time out, because he did get cluttered up at the start as well, but wasn't too much wrong with his run there, I thought. Continues to improve, recent trial winner.
Speaking of trials, we head to Happy Valley trials right now, and co-partner Fleet wins this. Zach Purton's done some work during the trials and sticks with him on race day. 5 of them in total. He wins this one, beating Tai Hang Scenery. No luck with the barrier draw for his first start, though.
Yeah, not ideal for his first start, that's for sure. Gate 12, a $270,000 ready-to-run purchase out of NZ. He was trained over there. He had 3 barrier trials and he performed reasonably well in those trials, and he's looked good in the barrier trials here. Zach's been on board for all 4 of them, including 2 wins, that one there at Happy Valley. So he probably would have been a little further up the order had he drawn a gate.
Now, Voyage Boss is looking to give the Voyage colours a good start to the day. This is the first starter for Frankie Law. 5 trials for him. Second here behind Ka Ying Radiance, and making good ground out wide as Audacious Pursuit.
Yeah, he had a few trials, did Voyage Boss in Australia, and a jump out with Trent Bussett and Natalie Young. Just like the way he was put under pressure here, but never gave it away, Voyage Boss. And the other horse there, Audacious Pursuit. Just want to see what he can do from gate 9. He's come out of NZ. He was 260,000 through the ready-to-run sale, but just again, a little bit of an awkward draw for him, stall 9.
How did you sort them out for the third?
Went with number 10 on top here, and that is Lovers in the Air from a good draw of barrier number 5 with the hood coming off for James McDonald and also with John Side. Got checked into the first turn, then was a bit keen, but from a good draw, I think they've got something to work with here with Love is in the Air. Co-partner Fleet in, Voyage Boss and Honest Witness there on a minor line as well. 10, 6, 8 and 9.
And that is race number 3, the first leg of Sunday's early treble. Race number 4 is a Class 2, and this race is over the 1,400 metres. A bit smaller on numbers, this one, but it's good on quality. Packing Hermod at the top of the book. Young Champion has the earplugs off. The Golden Scenery wears cheek pieces again. Midwinter Wind has a tongue tie going on. Dancing Code has placed 5 from 10 course and distance. And a Talabajil, an excuse last time, had an epiglottic entrapment. Dancing Code, the leader, Tom.
Yeah, well, there's no real natural leader in this contest, so the pace could be a little on the slow side here. So maybe Dancing Code can do something different here. Packing Hermod wasn't too far away. He did let the speed go last time out. And then you've got the Golden Scenery, Midwinter Wind, Young Champion. A few horses like to get back here, but maybe not a lot of pace as they head to that first turn.
We go straight to Nick with the rider of Packing Hermod. It's Zach Purton.
Zach, good racing coming up on Sunday. You're obviously a big part of that always. And race 4, the River Verdon Handicap. Packing Hermod is a horse you're back on board. He's a decent type of horse, this fellow, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He continues to get better. He's had a really good season. He's going to have to do it the hard way now with the extra weight on his back, but his trial recently was good. He's in good form, so there's no reason why he can't run well again.
I know you hadn't sat on him for a little while, but that trial, I mean, it looked pretty impressive, didn't it? Did he give you the feel of a horse who's going to take that next step forward?
Well, we hope so. You know, he's just continued to raise the bar as he's been asked to, and he's had a little bit of time between runs now. And you know, he's always a lightly framed horse that was struggling to fill out, but he feels like he's matured a little bit, and he's going to need to be a little bit stronger if he's going to carry the weight against these horses.
Yeah, he certainly is decent enough race. 2 from 2, as you say, first up. Mustn't forget, obviously, third in a classic mile as well. So, I mean, I know it's 4-year-old form, but it's very strong 4-year-old form.
Yeah, he's been a model of consistency. It sort of hasn't mattered where sort of what distance he's raced over or where he's been. He's always turned up and given his best, and I think he's going to do that again.
There is Zach talking Packing Hermod. Let's see that race again, Tom, with the Dancing Code running 4th, Packing Hermod and Young Champion. They end up filling the placings. Despite the big weight at the top, is he the one to beat, Packing Hermod?
I think he is, and I think after this, should he run well, the Premier Cup over the 1,400 metres is looking like his next target here, Packing Hermod. So he's got the 135 to carry, but with the 128 here, he settled back of midfield and really did dig deep to score. looked good in that recent barrier trial. Of course, Devano's come out of this race and won. And let's not forget they ran a track record here as well for the 1400 of 1:19.92. So he's in this up to his neck, I feel.
Good report packing Hermod from both Zach and Tom. We've got Dancing Code, Swift Descend, Midwinter Wind, and Young Champion, who just didn't run on this day, but we know he's been much more consistent normally than that. And he did run on well in a recent trial.
I just wondered if he was just a fraction keen early last time out and spent a bit of energy there, and he settled back and just never really finished off at all. Nothing wrong with his trial leading into this up at Chungfa. Dancing Code here wasn't a bad effort from him this day towards the inside. I'm not really sure where Midwinter Wind is at this point. He's been back to the trials at Happy Valley, ran fourth there. Tongue tie going on, but hasn't quite gone on with it after that sterling first up win.
Sure was. As we check the final replay up for this race, the Golden Scenery fifth. He's just struggling a bit, the Golden Scenery, and Mickley runs fourth. He's been a very busy horse. He went through the 4-year-old series. He's had a trial up at Chungfa, made some very minor late ground in that. Has he done enough to garner your interest?
Well, he was very good when he won here, but that's been really a flash in the pan for him. Made some ground here, was no challenge for the top three, but was making a little bit of ground late. He's been back to the trials since, wasn't asked for too much in that trial. I just wondered about him coming back to 1400, to be honest.
But it's the one at the top for you.
Yeah, packing Hermod, he's definitely the one to beat here. Always been a quality animal, track record holder. Over Young Champion, who never finished off last time out, but his trial indicated he's still in reasonable form, I think, is Young Champion. Dancing Code's never won in this grade, but ran out of room over the final stages behind Lady's Choice last start. And Swift Descend, the other one, I think can make his presence felt here as well. 1, 2, 6 and 5.
Promising horse packing Hermod, and Tom has him to win his third race over 1400 by taking the fourth. Here it is, race number 5 preview coming up right now, and this is over the 1400 for the Class 4s. Meowth one time this grade for 1 win. Super Love, a better draw. He was a winner 3 starts ago. Monarch County race as well at the 1400. K in Glory has the one-eyed blinker going on, steps up in trip. We've got Do Your Part, who's run second at the trial since we last saw him. Sunny Q wears a tongue tie, a wide draw again for Bling Bling Genius. And Yoda's Choice from the 12 to the 1400. That was Happy Valley last time, and he's a very fast beginner, Yoda's Choice, Tom.
He is, but obviously his bit of winning form certainly has been on the all-weather for Yoda's Choice. Meowth, you've got to Do Your Part. He's actually been racing reasonably well. Bling Bling Genius not ideally suited by a wide stall for Bling Bling Genius this time round. And then you've got Super Love, who a bit of an awkward gate, first time 1400 last start. Horses like Monarch County will settle back, and also Speedy Trident, who hasn't done a lot.
We're going to start with Monarch County running third last time. He's in the back half of the field here. Do Your Part led up, ends up running fifth, and Super Love, he's got a much better draw this week. He was out wide this day, barrier number 3, and he has shown some ability in a short career, Super Love.
Yeah, he has, and this was his first run at 1400 last start when he drew that wide gate, so he can get a better run this time for sure from barrier number 3 at his second time of asking here at 1400 metres. Of course, it was beaten here by Patch of Stars, who's gone on and won again since. It was a good run from Monarch County as well, who was back on the fence, held up, and when he eventually got clear, he finished off pretty strongly, and obviously he's another one there to finish behind Patches Stars.
That is Monarch County. Beauty Live runs third here. Tommy's well credentialed, 4-time course and distance winner. Antoine Hemlin, Frankie Law, just been a little while since he's last won.
855 days to be precise, Mark, and he was much better here last time out. As you mentioned, he's a 4-time course and distance winner who's won off a rating much higher than this, up in the mid-80s. So he's very well placed here off that rating of 48, but he just hasn't done it for so long. But this was better again behind Patch of Stars last time out. If he was able to replicate that, he'd be some sort of a chance there with his rating, but he's shown he's very inconsistent.
And what do you do with K in Glory? Trialled up like a storm, went to the races, started odds on debut, ended up finishing well down the track. He's been back to the trials 3 times since then. Do you live dangerously go again, or you want to see him produce it on race day?
I've got him in for fourth. I can't elevate him any higher than that on what he did first up. He was also deemed Aurora, so that's not ideal as well. Raced on the wrong leg last start as well. Comes through the Jumbo Treasure Race, Loving Vibes, won through that. Jumped awkwardly in the trial as well. He leapt up in the air, he was the back, he was keen, he had his head on his side in that trial as well. So jury's out at the moment, I think.
Well, he's in for fourth. Who's the 3 in ahead of him?
Went with Monarch County on what he did last time out. The Patch of Stars form is pretty good. So going with him, number 4, to beat 3, Super Love, who's better drawn here at the 1400 metres again. Meowth stepping back in grade, I thought wasn't the worst offer. A better run behind Light Year's Charm last start, where they did go forward, and they've got that option again from Barrier 2. And K in Glory just on a minor line. 4, 3, 1 and 6.
There you have it. That's the 5th. The preview for the first leg of Sunday's Triple Trio. Race number 6, preview time for this race. It's over the 1600 and is a Class 4 flagship warrior. He was scratched on the 31st of January with a left eye injury. He's had 4 trials in the interim. Satanta has the blinkers going back on. Namjong Kingdom is now with Chris So, who's taken off the hood and re-added the tongue tie. Last start winner Fortune Boy, extra £4. D-Star goes from the 1400 to the 1600. Smart City has the visor off, the cheek pieces going back on. Smiling Collector, same visor off, cheek pieces on. And Fight Time up in distance by a furlong. Tom, with Mr. Dapper the leader.
Yeah, and he gets an opportunity here with a low draw of barrier number 4. Pace might not overly be strong here, and there's no real leader, so could be an opportunity for David Eustace with Mr. Dapper to send him forward. Special Hedge, Smart City normally aren't far away. Namjong Kingdom from the new stable. You've got Fight Time there as well, and a lot of runners who do like to settle back here over the 1600 metres, so pace could be just on the moderate side.
Last start, when you were keen on this horse this day, Bright Inheritance, and he did deliver, goes up £4. Stable with a double at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Dennis Ship does have a wider draw, but been good to you last time. Do you go again here?
No, that's a simple answer. Take the money and run here on this horse. Barrier 13, not totally convinced with that. He had a lovely run through on the fence. He's not going to get all those favours this time round. He trialled well with the shadow roll on, and obviously chased down Mr. Dapper here. So he's got a little bit more weight to carry, an extra £4. Fortune Boy's come out of this race and since won, but I think it's a tougher task for him, and he's never gone back to back.
That is a Bright Inheritance. This is a Fortune Boy that you mentioned winning since, and this is the victory. It was a great ride from Brenton Abdallah. Zach Purton's on board this week. Brenton's riding Mr. Dapper, so make of that what you will, whether it was a prior booking or the case we don't know, but Fortune Boy wrote a new page, and Special Hedge, the 1, 2, 3 home here.
Yeah, well, Fortune Boy was good this day when winning. He's got a further £4 to carry. He's a couple of pounds better off with Bright Inheritance still from that run 2 efforts ago. I took wrote a new page this day, and I'm going to stick with him here again. He meets the winner £4 better off here. Trialled up nicely since, and he's only a 3-year-old, still a colt as well, but I think he's going to make his presence felt here.
Fight Time has been lurking at the bottom of Class 4 for quite some time, but he keeps on running placings, which is just keeping him at the bottom of Class 4, as opposed to the top of Class 5 where he could have gone, but he's been racing well with these lightweights.
Yeah, and the pace was strong here with the Wonder Star setting up some quick sectionals in front, and I just thought he held his ground okay here over the final stages. He's drawn to get a reasonable run again, you'd say, from barrier number 3, similar to what he probably got this time around in the race that was ultimately won by Dazzling Fit. Max Q looks a strong chance on the program as well, but just held his ground there.
Your top 4 for race 6.
Wrote a new page goes on the top. He's horse number 7, selecting him to beat number 6, and that is Mr. Dapper. Actually, a lengthy stewards report that sort of said maybe the jockey just went a bit too far from home on him last time out. Mr. Dapper. Fortune Boy makes it in, and Fight Time as well. 7, 6, 5 and 14.
A win for Harry Bentley and Denny Jum in race number 6 for Tom with Wrote a New Page. And race number 7 now. This is the race that precedes the Group 1, but the 7th is a Class 4 over the 1400 metres. Wide draw again for Spirit of Peace. Seamus Storm has placed 3 from 4 course and distance, and Max Q's placed his last 2. Dreaming Winner has the cheek pieces on. Old Town wears a tongue tie for the first time. Vivacious Win has his first start. Sugar Queen Prawn, the hood is off. Galvanic, the blinkers are off. King Show, the blinkers are off. The cheek pieces and the hood go on. And Only You's been close up at his last 2 starts. A couple of fourths behind Kaying Superb and also behind South Star. Tom, Precious Hill showing plenty of pace at the trials, but not much stamina at the races.
No, he hasn't, and he led up 2 runs ago, and he's got barrier number 3 this time round, so you'd think he'd be able to lead here. But the pace, again, might be on the slow side. You've got Sunny Darling, King Show not far away, Max Cube and Galvanic, and then a number of horses that, again, do like to get back. Mighty Steed, Old Town with Only You back on the inside. Seamus Storm should get a nice enough run somewhere midfield on the fence as well.
And here is Nick with the trainer of Seamus Storm, David Hayes.
David Hayes, big day of racing coming up on Sunday, the final Group 1 of the season. More on that shortly. But you've got Seamus Storm lining up in race 7. He's a horse who's really put it all together now, and surely that win's only a matter of time away, isn't it?
I think so. Like he just got beaten with Zach on the other day. I think a horse just outmuscled him a bit more experienced. But he's trained on. He certainly hasn't gone backwards. His barrier's ideal. And I would be disappointed if he wasn't close in the finish.
How has he done in that 3 weeks in between runs? I mean, it's a decent enough little break, isn't it, for a horse like him?
Yeah, look, at young horses, 3 weeks is probably ideal to a month. He is a horse that I'm sure is going to make it and will be much better next season. But we'd love to get a win or two to get him up the ratings a bit, so he's right for the 4-year-old series next year.
Interesting, looking back at that race last time, David, obviously you say he was just outpointed by one with perhaps a little bit more experience, but the way he sort of knuckled down to the task, I thought was quite impressive.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought he was going to win, but he did fight and just got beat, and it was a good margin back to 3rd, which is always a good sign.
David Hayes there on his runner, Tom, which is Seamus Storm. Max Q, similar sort of form, looks to be getting close to a win. Mighty Steed 6th, Spirit of Peace 7th. He's been having wide draws. His run 2 starts ago was enormous, and he did make some late ground here also.
He ran 7th behind Dazzling Fit, was beaten 5 lengths. Got a bit of a bump at the 300, was also held up as well, Spirit of Peace, and wanted to do a bit wrong late by laying in. Nothing wrong with his trial, but Max Q has to be right up the top of the order here as well. It was a strung out field, of course, with Wonder Star setting a strong tempo. We got checks sort of at the 350, but it was game and defeat there. So he's in good form at the moment.
And finally, Old Town only has had the 1 start, and that was going back behind Flash Current. He's been back to the trials. He's had 3 trials since we last saw him, and this he's 4th at Happy Valley.
I don't think he's trialled up too badly, this horse, to be honest, to Old Town. This was the horse that obviously fell in the shadows of the post going back to the beginning of February. And we know Flash Current's been in good form, but interested to see what he can do, because he was right there with a shout in that race before he was brought down and was held up without a great deal of room.
That is Old Town. Did he make your top 4?
Not quite. He was right on the cusp, though. I went with number 3 in the end to Seamus Storm, again to beat 4 Max Q. I thought they were the 2 in this race, both drawn nicely in barriers 2 and 6 respectively. Spirit of Peace makes it in, just needs a bit of luck from stall number 11, and Only You's picture been racing okay. Eligible for Class 5, but ran on strongly wider behind Kaying Superb last start. 3, 4, 1 and 14.
He's gone close plenty of time, Seamus Storm. Tom thinks Sunday will be the day that he breaks through for his first Hong Kong win. The final Group 1 of the season is race 8. It's the Standard Chartered Champions and Chater Cup, and it goes at 4:10. With Voyage Bubble aiming for the Triple Crown at the top. Dubai Honour returns, looking for his elusive Sha Tin victory ensued. He's had 1 start over the 2400, ran 4th in the Vase. We see 5G Patch and Last City Blanche all the time in these staying races. Winning Dragon, he likes to go forward from barrier number 10. He has won. It's the El Derby at Valparaiso in Chile at his only time over 2400 metres before arriving, then placed behind the horse at the bottom, Tom Bundle Award, who won the Queen Mother Memorial.
And he led up, and the Queen Mother did Winning Dragon, and he's likely to do that again. Cap Ferraris might have to use a little bit of gas early to get up to that position up near the lead, and then you've got Voyage Bubble, Moments in Time. Ruby Lot likely to settle back with Bundle Award. Of course, he came from last in the small field there in the Queen Mother, but Winning Dragon to certainly go forward.
Voyage Bubble is where we're going to have our first look, Tom. He just waited for him to get past red line all the way down the straight, the Champions Mile, and he just couldn't do it. Untested over 2,400 metres, and history awaits if he wins.
It does. Some 30-odd to 31 years since River Verdon, of course, won the Triple Crown going back to 1994, I think it was. They had a bit of a brush here. There wasn't a lot in it. Went to the stewards' room. They determined as well there wasn't a lot in it. And the top two in the run were the top two were home, but he just couldn't quite get past red line with the circumstances to suit. The big question is, does he run out 2,400 metres? If he's going to get the run in the trail, he probably can, but that's the big question mark.
That is a Voyage Bubble. Opposition include ensued, and here's Nick with his jockey, Zach Person.
First of all, we may cut to the chase. Why him over Bundle Award, perhaps?
I was already committed to him before I rode Bundle Award, so that is primarily the reason that I was on him. But at the same time, I think he's, hopefully the better chance, because he's shown at Group 1 international level over this distance in December that he ran very well. He was right there, and with a little bit more of a cleaner run, he could have been even closer again. But he's a type of horse that needs a little bit of time to wind up. So the 2,400 might even be a little bit on the short side for him, but he's certainly going to run the distance. And like I said, he's proven that against the international horses before. And he's had a good season, so hopefully he's the right one.
It's fascinating you say that about the trip, of course. I mean, this is as far as we do go in Hong Kong. Not many opportunities for them, but he's looked every inch the mile-and-a-half horse, hasn't he, really, in those sort of 2,000 runs?
Yeah, one thing he hasn't done in any of his races is given ground in the straight. He always continues to keep finding the line, and, if anything, he just runs out of time to get there. So hopefully it's my job to get him into the race at the right time and let his stamina and ability to run strongly through the line shine.
You've had to sit on him in the trials, Zach. How did he feel?
He never trials flash. It's far too short for him, and he don't like the dirt. But he's fit, he's healthy, he's well, and that's all we're after.
I know you're perhaps only really worried about your own horse, and that's the one you want to get home in front. But what of the opposition? I mean, this is a good race this year, isn't it? You've got Voyage Bubble, of course, going for that Triple Crown. You've got Dubai Honour, as the aforementioned Bundle Award won the recognised trial. So it's a fairly handy race, isn't it?
It's a larger field than probably what we would have been expecting. There's an interesting element there with Dubai Honour coming back, and as you say, Voyage Bubble going for the Triple Crown, and you got Bundle Award on the way up, and some horses there out of the Derby, and some older horses that have been going around for a long time. So they're all meeting at the same spot, and we'll see how the race is going to be run. But a genuinely run race, I think, is going to just sort everyone out, and hopefully that's what we get.
There is Zach on Ensued. He's in this replay too, Tom. This is the QE2. Ruby Light runs 6th and Cap Ferrar 5th. Moments in Time would be a shock. He did run in the race last year, of course, and ran 4th behind Rebels Romance. Of the other three, though, Cap Ferrar, Ruby Lot and Ensued.
Yeah, I'm keen here on Cap Ferrar at this sort of trip, because the 2,400 metres shouldn't bother him. He ran 6th in an ATC Derby on a heavy track, so back on top of the ground, I don't think that'll worry him. He looked under all sorts of pressure, Ensued, coming towards the turn, but he's actually boxed on really well there, and despite suffering some interference in the straight, Ruby Lot also ran well. Bundle
Award, Queen Mother Memorial, which was just a walk and a sprint. He came from last, broke the clock in doing so. He'll run 2,400 metres. Winning Dragon stays on, but he had the perfect trip in the lead.
Yeah, he did, and wasn't able to quite go on with it, but Bundle Award was able to round them up in the shadows here. Obviously, the terms of the race not ideal for him this time round, because it was handicapped conditions last start, and he was carrying the 1, 2, 3. So here at level weights with the 1, 2, 6, I think is going to be that little bit more tougher for him, but it was a hard-fought victory there from him. So needs to be respected, but I think there's a few others at the top of the order who've got the proven Group 1 form.
Dubai Honour spends plenty of time in Hong Kong. He's come back from a trip in Australia where he's run 2nd in the Queen Elizabeth, won the Group 1 Tancred 2 starts ago over 2,400 metres. Is this the time he finally grabs that elusive Hong Kong victory?
Yeah, I really do reckon it is that time for him. Dubai Honour here, you can see he was just had to be balanced up a couple of times in the straight there. This behind Via Sistina, and she's been winning everything down in Australia at weight for age level and whatnot. And I think he's the one to beat here. Barrier 1 is run behind Giavolotto here in December, was very, very good, closing off strongly late after being a tad worse than midfield. So I think he's the one.
Who does he beat?
He beats number 4, Ensued, who makes it in as well for Zach Purton, I think, with the conditions here to suit up to 2,400 metres. Voyage Bubble, it's just the big question mark whether he is a 2,400 metre horse or not, against some horses that are proven here at the 2,400 metres. And Cap Ferrara, I think the Derby winner, can run a strong race here. 5 horses have done the Derby and Champions and Shaded Double. He's looking to do that for Craig Williams. 2, 4, 1 and 3.
Dubai Honour for Tom gets it done for William Haggis, and Tom Mark won and wins the Champions and Chaser. Race number 9, well, it was 2,400 metres race 8. It's 1,000 metres for race number 9, where Hero returns. We haven't seen him for quite some time. 1st of July 2024 to be exact. Stellar Express has been consistent course and distance. Celestial Hero makes his Hong Kong debut. Healthy held up at Happy Valley last time. Surcharge, another one making his Hong Kong debut. So too is Metro Power. Justifying has a hood going on. All-round winner and Blazing Wind, both on a 7-day backup. Tom, with the pace coming from Super Fortune and Justifying.
Yeah, we know Super Fortune's got good pace. I wonder if they might take a sit on Justifying, because they did that in a recent trial, and he has to come up the middle here from his draw of in this race for Casper Found's barrier number 1. So he's drawn over on the far side. Northern Fireball, Stellar Express. Metro Power is making his Hong Kong debut. Did place second on 2 occasions in Australia. You've got Blazing Wind, who's on a quick turnaround. Celestial Hero, Alfonso, all-round winner, likely to get back, but maybe a little question mark on Justifying, where they position him off that recent trial.
We'll talk more about Justifying shortly. Firstly, though, it's Nick with the trainer of Alfonso. It's Mark Newnham.
Mark Noonan, Alfonso is an interesting horse I want to talk to you about. He's seemingly coming quite good at the moment. 2 very good runs over this course and distance his last twice.
Yeah, look, he's you know, we've sort of had to work with him a bit. His best form in Australia was at 12 and 14, but here he seems to appreciate the 1,000 metre straight. It's taken him quite a while to come right in the coat, and he has done it his last couple. He's been a little unlucky, but you know, saying that, he jumps back into Class 3 after being unlucky in Class 4, so it's not ideal, but he comes in at a lightweight.
He does indeed. You've got Alexi Bedell on as well, of course, who can obviously do those lightweights and is very good value for it. I wanted to ask you about that, obviously, with what you've told me regarding sort of him just taking time to come in his coat. And I mean, we can all be very quick, I suppose, of thinking horses disappoint us a bit, but was a bit more expected early on of this guy?
Oh, absolutely. His trials at this time last year were, you know, of quite a good standard. His first run was good, but then he went off the boil a little bit, and he went off in the coat, and he just wasn't handling the conditions here. Train him out of Chung Fa now, and look, I think just the different training options up there suit him as well. He works a lot on the uphill gallop, and you know, it just seems to be coming together at the right time for him.
And just looking at the race, it's a competitive one, but he's obviously got that lightweight, as you say, and you've also got some, you know, handy enough runners this weekend, so you must be fairly confident that it'll be a good Sunday, all being well.
Well, I hope so. We've got 9 there, and some nice horses amongst them. So, look, if they've all been running consistently, we just need them to put their head in front.
That is Mark Newnham on Alfonso. There's a few chances in this race, Tom, so we'll go to our first replay, which is Justifying, who was turned over as a very short-priced favourite here after a debut win down in grade, and Dream Winner had been out of form, and Jerry Chow still stuck almost towards the middle of the track and was able to get another win out of him.
Yeah, so the 1.2 shot was rolled by the 65-1 shot here. A Dream Winner who obviously didn't handle the good to yielding track conditions 2 runs ago, but again found form. Heyday's come out of this race and franked the form here. But yeah, I just wonder with that trial of Justifying, if they try and take a sit with him. He looked to be under pressure in this race before the 350. Obviously, he got a decent whack of 11 points from his first win to his second start. So we're interested to see what they do with the hood on as well.
That is justifying. Keen to see what he can do. Stellar Express runs third here. This over the 1,000 metres at Happy Valley. Healthy ends up running fifth, but he runs right into a traffic jam near the post.
Yeah, finds trouble over the last 150, doesn't he? Healthy after being crowded up at the start and detached through the early stages. So there was certainly a bit of merit in his run. Stellar Express, I thought, had every chance, but his only win from 19 starts here in Hong Kong has come course and distance earlier on in the season. So we don't think he can be discounted for sure.
Some trials now. We a Hero, he's taken a liking to the 1,000 metres, although we haven't seen him for a while, and he hasn't won for a while. He's been off the scene with a lame right four also, and Healthy's also in this trial.
Now, he won this trial easily by a bit over 5 lengths here. It's his first run of the season, We Are Hero, so he's been off the scene for a long time with that ligament injury. But Hugh Bowman rides from a high stall, and he's got a record, Hugh, of 8 rides aboard this horse for 4 wins. So I think that's worth having a little bit of a look at. Be interested to see how Jenny assesses him. Obviously, we're not privy to the weights at this point of sort of what condition he's in at the moment, We Are Hero. But keen to see what he can do here in this race as well.
And Metro Power and Celestial Hero. Celestial Hero was a listed 1,000 metre winner at Caulfield in the Blue Diamond preview, and Metro Warrior was known as Loose Lips, sinks ships, placed at Benalla and Moonee Valley, and has a much better name now.
Yes, he does. Metro Power. So David Hayes and Ben Thompson, nothing wrong with his trials. I thought both of them hit out okay here in the club's colours as well. There was Celestial Hero, former Snowden-trained galloper. So he had some good enough form over in Australia, but obviously first up down the straight, always tough.
Few chances here.
There are. I'm sitting with 10 though, again, justifying. I think he can bounce back from that defeat as a 1.2 favourite last start. Alfonso with a lightweight definitely has to be respected. Super Fortune ran well last start behind Cross-Border Pegasus and Stellar Express. But 10, 13, 6 and 2, there's probably another half dozen or more you can make a case for in race 9.
And race number 9 is also the first leg of the late treble. Race number 10, we run 2,000 metres for this race, and it is a Class 3. Two-time course and distance winner Bravehearts comes out of the Queen Mother Memorial. Enthralled has the blinkers going on. Agenda, cheek pieces off, one-eyed blinker on. Wider draw winning wing, as opposed to Gold Master, who has a better draw. Live and Let Live between them, beat them both last time. Packing Hurricane blinkers off. Master Trillion first time at 2,000 metres. Mighty Strength has his second go in this grade from a good draw of gate number 4, Tom, and Live and Let Live goes to the front again.
Yeah, well, he can certainly lead this one like he did last time out, but that was from barrier 5. You'll have to come across them from stall 13 into that first turn. Winning wing won't be too far away. Packing Hurricane should end up with a nice enough run in transit from barrier 5 with the blinkers off. Mighty Strength, Mega Force, he covered some ground last start. And then you've got the likes of Enthralled, Fallon, who goes back, Master Trillion, and Fast Speed. There's a lot of money for him last start, but didn't do a great deal.
We're going back to Happy Valley for our first replay, Tom, and Fallon, who's been racing really well at the city circuit. He's no stranger to Sha Tin. First time 2,000 metres, does that look like it's going to be any issue for him whatsoever?
I don't think it will be the way he's been racing. Ben Thompson seems to get a good tune out of this horse. He's won 2, placed second twice from 4 rides aboard him, and he hit the line strongly here over Excellence Value and Beauty Alliance to win this race. So he's going nicely at the moment, up £5, but I think there might be a few others here in front of him as well.
And that is a Fallon. There is heaps to look at here, as you can see. There's arrows everywhere. Live and Let Live led for home and then kept on kicking. He gets in with just 3 extra pounds on his back. Which ones are you going to take out of this replay, if any? Well,
Gold Master should get a perfect run in transit from his stall. He's come up with barrier number 2 here, and he should be right behind the speed summary. He was that fair bit closer to them last time out, so they've got that option if they want to race there again or they want to sit a little bit further back. And he is £3 better off for a very small margin defeat here. It was a bob of a head basically between these two. Winning Wings, certainly not the worst. Family Jewel was supported to this day and ran on, was only beaten a length and a half, but he's got barrier 12 and is £5 better off with the winner. But certainly Gold Master with the run he's likely to get.
We saw Enthralled in that replay. He's been back to the trials and has had the blinkers put on. He runs third, but this is a quality trial. This one, that's Cap Ferrara in the orange sleeves. Voyage Bubble, the white sleeves, Bundle Award out wider. So very good horses he was in against.
Yeah, and the blinkers on in the trial as well. I was a little disappointed with him last time out, but they were positive in this trial. He went forward, looked to be under a nice enough hold at the end, and I think the blinkers are going to make a world of difference here for Enthralled. So wouldn't want to leave him out. He's a course and distance winner, and I think this is his go here, Enthralled.
It's a good report for him, so he's on top.
He's on top around him. Braveheart, who of course is dropping back out of the Queen Mother Memorial Cup. I thought he was just okay that day behind Bundle Award in a sit and sprint race. Goldmaster right in this from the draw, and Winning Wing, another one that's £5 better off with Live and Let Live, Dylan Moe and Francis Loy. 4, 1, 8 and 6.
Brenton Avdulla and John Size teaming up for Tom to win race number 10 with Enthralled. Last on a massive day at Sha Tin is the 11th. It's over the 1400 and a Class 3. A Node has the blinkers on. Gorgon is now with Manfred Mann. Geneva goes up in trip. Wide a draw for Silvery Breeze. South Star winner last time, extra £5. Top Dragon winner last time, down in grade, so comes into Class 3 for the first time. Akash Vani can't draw a gate. And up in class also comes Super Express. Lost Child has a tongue tie on for the first time. Akash Vani didn't lead in a recent trial, Tom, but he's in front of the speed map.
Yeah, he is, and he's come up in this race here with barrier 13, so I think they've probably got to try and roll the dice and head forward with him here. Of course, they led on debut. They were sitting up near the pace at his next start after that. So we should be able to cross here. 80 Light Years, carrying Superb King of Dubai, drawn a little awkwardly. Some of the leading chances, South Star should get a nice run on the fence. Geneva's trialled well. You've got Top Dragon in the middle part of the field as well behind Super Express. And Pope Cody was better last start as well.
He was, but this is a quality lineup, this one. Tom, we start with winning form around South Star. This was his first look at Class 3. He beat Janu Pride. Andrea at Zany, good draw again. He rides for Frankie Law and has trialled well between runs.
He certainly has, and he's come up with barrier number 3, extra £5 here. This was 35 days ago, but one like a good horse this day did. South Star, just a 3-year-old. And he's had a trial since, and he was up near the speed in that trial and coasted down to the line to win nicely. Was able to reel in Janu Pride here, but really pinned the ears back and tried hard for that victory.
Top Dragon, nice horse, and is now a winner after scoring over the 1400 metres last time. Zach Purton sticking on board. He too's had a trial like South Star, but was just a very quiet trial from him.
Yeah, certainly was. Out the back, covered a bit of ground and was held together there with Zach Purton, but to really put them to the sword to this day, a fair way out. They ran some quick sectionals through those early portions of the race, 13.5 and then 21.58, and if you were just doing it on times alone, he certainly had a much better time than South Star did comparative on the same sort of day there, Class 4 compared to Class 3, so he ran a really strong race there, I thought.
That is Top Dragon. Super Express punted off the map on debut and delivered, and then was touched off here by a Patch of Stars beaten a short head. Craig Williams in town. He's going to take the ride for John Size. But like Top Dragon, he's a newcomer to this grade.
Yeah, I don't think he should be at all disgraced running second to Patch of Stars, who of course has since been able to win again. He was 2's on favourite to this day, raced up on the speed and was just edged out of it late. Nothing wrong with his trial, so I think there's plenty of ticks in the box here for Super Express. Looks a really progressive horse. In fact, there's a whole bunch of progressive-looking 3-year-olds in this last event on the cards, so he's certainly going along nicely at the moment.
How did you sort them out in race 11?
I went with Super Express here in the last on the card, number 11, to beat number 8, Top Dragon, 7, South Star. Certainly with the 3-year-olds here. Didn't mind the trial of Geneva. He really travelled nicely in that trial. He's been able to win 3 times this season. Ran on behind Master of My Universe last start. Better drawn with Bowman going back on board. He's got a good record aboard him. 11, 8, 7 and 3.
And that is the preview for Group 1 day at Sha Tin, the last Group 1 of the season. Champions and Chater, the first. A reminder with the 11 races at 12:30.